After playing Ace Ventura, The Mask, half of Dumb and Dumber, and the Riddler in Batman Forever, Jim Carrey was just one of the funniest guys throughout the mid-90s going into the early 2000s. So, after he did all those roles I just mentioned, he went on to play a lawyer who, well, has to lie. So here it is. Let's talk about Liar Liar, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this month. Big Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I'm going to review the 1997 fantasy comedy flick Liar Liar, released by Universal, starring Jim Carrey, along with Maura Tierney, Jennifer Tilly, Swoosie Kurtz, Amanda Donahoe, Anne Haney, Cary Elwes, and Justin Cooper. The film was directed by Tom Shadiak, who recently did the film that put Carrey on the map, that was Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and of course, a year before this, he directed The Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy. Anyway, the film tells the story of a lawyer who built his entire career on lying, but finds himself cursed to speak only the truth for a single day, during which he struggles to maintain his career and to reconcile with his former wife and son, whom he alienated with his pathological lying. Yes, today is the film's 25th anniversary. It was released in theaters exclusively, fully, of course, because it was released in Hollywood. It premiered in Hollywood 3 days before, but I decided I decided to give it to you on the very day it came out, March 21st, 1997. Today's the film's 25th anniversary. Of course, this was Carrey's second film with Shadiak. I already mentioned Ace Ventura. Years later, he'd go on to re-team with him again on Bruce Almighty in 2003, which I have yet to review those two, but I will review those. Anyway, and the script was written by Paul Guy and Stephen Mazur. Of course, this was the second of 3 collaborations between those two. The others were The Little Rascals, which I've already reviewed that, and Heartbreakers, which I have yet to watch that. And the first of 2 collaborations between Carrey and Brian Grazer, which of course his company, Imaginary Entertainment, who recently produced The Nutty Professor, worked on. Of course, the next would be How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Okay, that about covers it. Let's get into the story. Fletcher Reed is a lawyer and divorced father living in L.A. He loves spending time with his young son Max. They often play a game where Fletcher makes his hand into the car, with which he tickles Max and pretends to chase him. However, Fletcher has a habit of giving precedence to his career, breaking promises to Max and his former wife Audrey, and then lying about the reasons. Fletcher's compulsive lying has also built him a reputation as a successful defense lawyer at his firm. Ultimately, Fletcher misses his son's birthday party to have sex with his boss Miranda in the hopes of making partner. Max makes a birthday wish that his father would be unable to tell a lie for an entire day, a wish that immediately becomes true. Fletcher soon discovers through a series of embarrassing incidents that he is unable to lie, mislead, or even withhold a true answer. These incidents are inconvenient as he is fighting a divorce case which could boost his career. His client is Samantha Cole, a gold digger. His main witness, Kenneth Falk, whom Samantha has been cheating on her husband, Richard Cole, with, is eager to commit perjury to win. But Fletcher discovers that he cannot even ask a question if he knows the answer will be a lie. He even objects to himself when he tries to lie to get the desired information. Meanwhile, Audrey is planning to move to Boston with her new fiancé, Jerry, and decides that Max will go with them to protect him from the disappointment Fletcher causes him when he breaks his own promises. Fletcher tries desperately to delay the case, even beating himself up. but is unable to lie his way into a continuance. On the verge of losing the case, he discovers that Samantha had lied about her age and therefore had signed the prenuptial agreement as a minor without parental consent, rendering the contract void. This entitles Samantha to 50% of Richard's marital assets, equal to $11.395 million, allowing Fletcher to win the case truthfully. However, Samantha also insists on contesting custody of their children for an extra $10,000 in monthly child support payments from Richard. Disheartened, Fletcher, realizing that he had corrupted Samantha with his own lies, watches as she pulls her crying children out of Richard's arms. Horrified by his mistake, Fletcher demands that the judge reverse the decision, but his attitude angers the judge, and he is arrested for contempt of court. Fletcher calls Audrey to bail him out, but she informs him that their plane leaves for Boston that night. His bail is eventually paid by his secretary, Greta. Fletcher decides to leave his firm and go into the business himself. Alright, now for the ending. You know the procedure like always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video, go to the description box below, and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue on, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. Recognizing Max as his highest priority, Fletcher rushes to the airport. But Audrey and Max's flight has already left the terminal. In desperation, he hijacks a mobile stairway to pursue the plane onto the runway. After drawing one of his shoes at the plane's windshield, it finally stops, but Fletcher is injured after he crashes the mobile stairway. On a stretcher, Fletcher vows to Max that he will spend more time with him, and he points out that it has been over 24 hours since Max's birthday wish, but Max believes him. Ultimately, Audrey and Max decide not to move to Boston with Jerry, who goes on his own to run a hospital. 1 year later, Fletcher and Audrey are celebrating Max's birthday. Max makes a birthday wish, only to find that Fletcher and Audrey are kissing. Fletcher asks Max if he wished for them to get back together, but Max says he only wished for rollerblades. Family returns to normal as Fletcher chases Audrey and Max around the house with the claw. End of story. So, what did I think of Liar Liar? Well, I've watched this numerous times. I love this film. This is easily one of my many favorite Jim Carrey films, alongside some of the flicks I've mentioned, like Ace Ventura and, and even The Grinch, Batman Forever. Yeah, and even though I've seen it a few times, not as much as I want to, Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, and Bruce Almighty, as well as the underrated Me, Myself, and Irene, which he do a few years later as well, just like he did with The Grinch and Bruce Almighty. I'm gonna say Liar Liar is just so exceptionally funny. Anyway, after this, Carrey was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Comedy. Yep. Anyway, the film got some pretty good response from the critics and what have you. Everybody was impressed with it. This film gave us, wow, a whole lot of laughs. Now, actually, some critics noted similarities between the plot of this with that of an episode of The Twilight Zone entitled The Whole Truth, where a used car salesman comes into ownership of a car that is haunted and forces him to tell the truth so long as he owns it. Yeah, never watched The Twilight Zone much, but if I happen to encounter this episode, I'll look into it. Anyway, nevertheless, the film did well, and it went on to make $302 million worldwide. And the film was the second highest three-day opening ever for Universal's, right behind Jurassic Park. And for 5 years, it had the largest March opening weekend until Ice Age surpassed it. Still, I think everybody really got to enjoy this. I mean, everybody loved Jim Carrey's performance, and I have to agree. I really did love his performance. He's absolutely crazy and wow. I'm just gonna say this would probably be in my top 5 or maybe top 3 favorite films of his. I haven't really done a Jim Carrey flicks ranking, but maybe who knows? One day in the future I might. Maura Tierney, if I recall correctly, who was big on TV's ER at the time, played Audrey. She was good. Young Justin Cooper played Max. He was really good. Cary Elwes plays Jerry, and I've got to say he's good too. Let's see, Anne Haney. I know her from Mrs. Doubtfire, playing Greta, and Jennifer Tilly, who the following year would be Tiffany, and Bride of Chucky, playing Samantha. Yeah. This will also be the let's see. Oh yes, the final performance of Jason Bernard, who played Judge Marshall Stevens, who died shortly after filming was completed. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It also had a little bit of special, little brief appearance of Sarah Paxton, who would later go on to star in one of my guilty pleasure flicks, that being Aquamarine. She was one of Max's classmates in a birthday party attendant. Gee whiz. Oh yeah, and also other that are in this. Kristen Allen plays the lady in the elevator. Yeah, that part was so insanely funny. Oh boy. I think you know that bit, you know. Shoot. Yeah, I gotta give credit to everything in this. Even the score from John Debney and James Newton Howard composed the theme to the movie. Anyway, the film just proved to be such a big success for Universal and for Mr. Carey. Liar Liar is just so much fun. So in the end, would I recommend Liar Liar? The answer is hell yeah. Yes, this is one flick you need to see. Liar Liar, you're just gonna have to see this. It's just so funny. Anyway, again, still one of my favorite Jim Carrey flicks. I don't know where I'd rank it, but still, it would be up there in the top 5 or top 3 tops. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on Liar Liar? Please tell me in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you the next episode of the Wide World of Games shows. And that will be on Name That Tune. Also, as a special announcement, I am possibly going to see the recent Channing Tatum flick Dog this week since I'm off for spring break from work before I go see his new film, The Lost Sea, opening this weekend. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for these other films. In the upper left-hand corner is my review for, well, a film Tom Shadiak directed before this. Of course, that was The Nutty Professor with A. Murphy. Or if you want, see my review for Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000, which Jim Carrey starred in. Or if you just want something else, see my review of Ice Age, which recently turned 20 last week in the bottom left-hand corner. In the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.